Around New Jersey, around the clock. This is News 12 New Jersey.
I'm Della Cruz with Janine Strafasi and meteorologist Dave Curran. An 83-year-old widow could soon lose her home because of $30.
Walt Kane is in your corner with a story you'll see only on News 12 New Jersey. So, Walt, how does something like this happen?
Well, Janine, like a lot of seniors, the woman you're about to meet was steered into a questionable loan. It was a more expensive mortgage, but it had a line of credit she could use when her savings ran out. But now that she finally needs that credit line, her bank is taking it away. And you may not believe the excuse they're using.
They're seeking profit over anything that is human.
This home was Circa Demora's dream. Now her bank is forcing her to sell it because of a mistake. One missed click of a mouse.
I've been here 50 years, yes. I'm losing over a $31 payment, but I didn't hit the right button on the screen.
Last November, Demora tried to make an online payment of $30.18 on her home equity line, but she forgot to hit submit. She made the payment for real 10 days later and says the bank didn't even charge a late fee.
I asked her, was this going to affect my relationship with the bank? And she said no. So then I thought that was the end of it.
It wasn't. National City Bank, a division of PNC, says Demora's mistake constitutes failure to meet the repayment requirements. It terminated her line of credit. That leaves her unable to pay her monthly bills. Demora's son is furious. He says the mortgage broker promised his mom the credit line would let her stay in her house for 10 years.
They were writing mortgages in any manner that they could when it was profitable to them. And now that the situation that they created collapsed, they're trying to get away from this as quickly as possible.
The Demora's case may be extreme, but some housing advocates say it illustrates a dirty secret of the mortgage industry. They say the banks took billions in bailouts, but instead of helping struggling homeowners stay in their homes, they sometimes use any excuse to get them out.
The banks will only operate in their own self-financial interest, and if a loan modification is not as profitable to the lender than to foreclose, they will foreclose.
Dave Petrovich is a housing advocate from Monmouth County. He says even when banks do work out repayment deals, his clients are often stuck with longer terms or large balloon payments.
People are saying to me, well, all right, I'll save my house in the short run, but I'm going to owe twice as much as the house is worth. What kind of bailout is that?
I contacted PNC Bank, but a spokesman says the bank will not discuss individual customers, even though Demora gave them written permission. Demora isn't surprised.
The indifference of the banks is really extraordinary. They just don't care.
Now, in the end, Circa Demora is actually lucky. She still owes less on her house than what it's worth, and she has family to move into once she sells. Someone else in her situation could have been left with no money and nowhere to go. Do you know about something I need to investigate? Call me at 732-738-KANE or email kaneinyourcorner@news12.com.
Such a tough situation. She's been there for
50 years.
Now, wasn't there any sort of grace period, though, on submitting this payment?
You know, you would think so. I'm not necessarily familiar with the actual terms, although, you know, bear in mind, a lot of times, if your mortgage payment is due on the 1st, they may not charge a late fee until the 15th, but they can claim it's late on the 3rd or the 4th.
Interesting. All right. Walt Kane, thanks for that report.